Yeah, we're live. Cool. Hello, good afternoon. We're going for a lunchtime chat today instead of the evening. I am joined today by Ben Thomas. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Stu.
Good, good. Ben is a HITZoner. Sorry for the squeaky door behind. Yeah, Ben is a HITZoner. Ben joined HITZone back in March 2019. So almost a couple of years ago now, and has been on a incredible journey. And I will say this right now: if you're not inspired at the end of this by Ben, there's nothing that's going to inspire you. There's nothing at all that's going to inspire you. So, yeah, Ben.
No pressure.
No pressure. No, the people will be inspired when they hear your story, what's gone on, how you've done it. They'll be inspired. So, I guess, when you joined HITZone, you obviously had made that decision. You need to do something. Where were you at? Where was life at? Where were you? Where are you at right
then? So, very busy professional. Was a qualified chartered accountant, working, very long hours in quite a senior role for a housing association. Very sedentary job. Exercise wasn't really at the front and foremost of what I was doing. I've spent most of my day chained to a desk, to be honest, and wasn't very active at home. Was very unfit. Was very overweight. I mean, I think almost 23 stone at my heaviest. I was getting out of breath when I was trying to do activities with the children. Obviously, I've got 3 young children. So, they keep me on my toes, and, they're constantly wanting dad to play with them or take them out or have a kick around and, play some football or something. So for me, joining HITZone or making that first inquiry, for me was about trying to make a change, trying to make sure that I did start exercising, did start getting more active, and hopefully to tackle the weight issue. I was eating rubbish food, obviously working late hours, so you'd often come home and pop something in the microwave or you'd snack. Probably drinking a lot as well, probably drinking far more alcohol than I should have been drinking. Again, because of the stresses of the job, I saw it as a release. So for me, that was, I still enjoy a beer now, but
as we just said, Ben's done me no favors by introducing me to craft beers, and we often spend a little bit of time on a weekend exchanging screenshots of good offers that are on or nice new beers that have come out, but all in moderation, obviously. But just a question for you: how long did it kind of take you to get to that point where you were like, right, I've got to do something? We didn't know each other at school. We went to the same school, different years. I'm a few years older, and was it just an adult thing? As a teenager, how were you? What led to this? Was it over a short period of time, a long period of time, that you got to this stage?
No, it didn't happen overnight. I would say over a course of probably 4 to 5 years, maybe. Probably just started neglecting myself. Probably, as soon as the first sort of child came along, I was working very busy, long hours. As I say, as a chartered accountant, that's full on all year round.
Because how old's Alfie now? 8, 10.
Alfie 10. Will be 10 this year. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a.
But yeah, it was just years of neglect, mate. And to be honest, putting work first. Trying to earn an income. Bring money into the house, put food on the table, make sure we could enjoy nice holidays and things like that. And that was my focus. And exercise didn't really feature. I've always enjoyed. Particularly going for a walk. I can walk for miles. But actually trying to find something that I could get into and maintain. I tried sort of mainstream gyms. Giving them a go. I think at one point I'd signed up for a membership, probably went for about 2 months on a year membership and probably never turned up again.
It's a common story, that one. Yeah.
Eight waste of money, probably one of those January things where I said, oh, I'm going to change. I'm going to try and do something else.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd tried all that, and it wasn't working for me. And you know, I had no desire to, because I often came home from work at the end of a long day, not feeling like doing much. You know, wanting to relax, and you know, my way of relaxing was sit in the front of the TV and have a beer. You know, that's the way I did it.
I think it's a really common thing as well. That's not an unusual thing to hear. And then when you kind of made a start with exercise, and it was a HITZone. This, you know, and I'm super proud of the part we've played in your journey. But as you started to exercise, what was kind of the first thing you noticed? The first kind of improvement you noticed? Like what was the thing where you thought, oh, you know what, I can carry on with this. This is, you know, what was it that you noticed first?
Probably just a general improvement in my fitness, to be honest, and the fact that after doing it for probably a couple of months, I mean, I can remember the first session as clear as day. It hurt for days, and you know, I was out of breath, very unfit. I hadn't done anything like that in years, but probably after a couple of months, a realization that, oh, I can do a few more reps, or I can do this a bit quicker, or you know, I can jog for a bit longer and not feel out of breath, or you know, there are certain things that you start to realize, and you think, actually, this is good, and it made me feel good as well.
Yeah, and I remember you then quite quickly, in that first 6 months for sure, maybe shorter than that, you started to pick up other exercise. You know, football, Monday night football. Can't wait to get back to that. Where a group of us go. You park run with your brother, and that's like completely mushroomed into something, a whole new thing, which we'll talk about in a bit. But how did it feel? You had to be able to go and, like, okay, we're not talking about any of us doing the world's quickest park run, or none of us are Ronaldo or Messi, but how did it feel to be back doing those things? Like, 'cause I know you've done sport and running and things in the past.
Yeah, no, it was wonderful, and again, I think probably a couple of years before I joined HITZone, I did a Couch to 5K program, which was run by one of the run train leaders at Telford and Wrekin Council, and that was over a 10-week period.
Yeah,
you know, and I got to a position where I could run 5K. You know, and I was relatively fit, but again, I dropped out of doing it, and I think motivation was the hardest thing for me. I like doing things with other people, so often.
I was going to say, what was it? What was it that motivated you? What was it about? What was it about HITZone? And again, like I say, not worried about sales or anything here, but what was it about HITZone that made you stick to it?
The thing that appealed to me was a sense of community, and I think everyone who you've spoken to over the course of last week who's been involved in HITZone, and you know, the comments you see, that is the thing that keeps people with HITZone, is that sense of community, sense of belonging. Everyone is, you know, on their own journey. Everyone's really supportive of that. We've got a great online community where we can all share tips, ideas, and struggles with each other. At the minute, you're running like an accountability group with me and a few other HITZoners, which, you know, is really great, because again, we get to share with each other what are our goals for each day, what do we want to achieve, and you know, we're there to sort of talk it over with each other, perhaps when we don't hit some of those. But to me, it was small group sessions, so group of like-minded people who were into their exercise, you know, and very encouraging coaches, I would say. Every coach at the HITZone studio has been fantastic with me along my journey, as I know they are with every other member. And you know, they will push you. They will push you as well. You know, it is that sort of encouragement to, you know, when they see you making progress, can you now do a bit more, or you know, can we
look at your recent thing with Sam?
You know, like I did, from a base of not having done a lot to building yourself up to doing actually quite a lot of exercise over the course of time.
And one thing I think is really, and it's extra noticeable with yourself, but it's something that I see in a lot of HITZone. I think people just get a buzz from doing this. And I want to say HITZone, probably globally, not just HITZone. It's very apparent how you've gone, kind of, as you've gone through your journey, and we'll talk about how your journey's continued. You seem to get a tremendous buzz out of then helping other people. So then, like last night, for example, we had somebody in our group who'd not had the best day, who'd struggled a little bit, and immediately yourself and others jumped in to support that person. And I think you and a lot of people within our community get that buzz from lifting others and helping others as well, not just being on this selfish journey of your own as such, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably talk about it in a bit, but I do know very well what it feels like to feel alone and feel like that you don't have that support from others. And having been there myself, that is then something I want to give back to that community. So for me, enjoying my exercise, understanding it's okay to have a bad day, and I think a lot of people will beat themselves up when they've had a bad day, and will perhaps only focus on the negatives of that. But it's as we've been finding out in that accountability group, there are always 2 or 3 wins to a day, and some days that's just getting out of bed in the morning. That can be your win for a day.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to
there's always something to be proud of in your day, and I think the more you focus on that, the more it gives you peace of mind and sort of energizes you. Really, it gives you that belief that okay, we've struggled today, but tomorrow's another day. We can move on and start again.
Yeah, and I totally mean my coach, whose book you're reading at the moment, Paul Moore, he talks and calls that strategic confidence. That if we don't focus on growing our confidence, we won't grow our confidence. So if we don't spend that, what does it take? 2 minutes in the evening going, right, what's happened today? Right, these 3 wins could be got out of bed. When I spoke to Alex last week, we're talking about, when you're in the depths and the pit of feeling things, sometimes getting out of bed, having a shower and brushing your teeth are 3 wins that day. Because we've, but then when you look back at the week and you go, there's 21 things I could be proud of this week. Then you look back at the month and you go, there's 90 odd things I can be proud of. Suddenly you build this. And it takes us on really so you were with us a year when the pandemic hit. You were kind of just coming up to the end of your first year. You'd seen some great weight loss. Overall, Ben's now lost 3 stone, but over 20 kilos in that 18 months. And then lockdown hit, and well, tell the story of that. What happened then? Because things didn't go so well for you. It's safe to say since then.
No, I found lockdown very difficult. I think particularly work and family life became very difficult during that period of time.
Because you're working from home, right?
Yeah. So starting to work from home, made things very difficult. That first lockdown, I remember it wasn't just schools, but nurseries were closed as well. So, we had 3 children at home all day long. My eldest, as I said, was 9, my youngest are 3 and 2. So, that's very challenging. My wife, Steph, keep trying to keep up a part-time job as well. So she was working 2 days a week on top of that. And to be honest, that it started to grind me down because there was no escape from that sort of home life. So my escape had been going to work. Had been that commute to work in the morning, which I'm working in Stafford, so probably 45 minutes each way, where I can zone out from family life, get into work mode, and do the same on the return home. You sort of lost that with the working from home period, and it all became intermingled.
I think you said to me that as well, there was a little bit of kind of not pressure, but maybe pressure on yourself because you've done so well with your fitness as well. And your walking dropped off, your steps dropped off. You're finding it very difficult to get onto the HIT zone at home because, iPad in the kitchen, children needing attention. Obviously Steph's maybe been with the children all day. You've been at work, and work would drag on longer. Then feeling bad, exercised.
Posted this morning that made me laugh, saying she was trying to do press up and upward dogs with whilst I was trying to play floor is lava. That's the sort of thing you had to sort of entertain yourself with, and as you say, made it very difficult to exercise and do workouts during that period of time. and it had a severe impact on my mental health as well. So, you know, I'm not new to depression. Depression is something I've suffered with for a very long time. You know, I had a very bad time around 2017, I think it was. It was just after the birth of our second child, actually, James. You know, and I had a very sort of low period then. And I've been taking antidepressants ever since, you know, so I was prescribed that medication and been taking those, and, you know, sort of found a way out of that. You know, I did some cognitive behavioral therapy, which was very good. So, you know, those people will talk to you and try to get you to understand why you feel how you feel. And to do a lot on that sort of work with your mindset and trying to help you, when you are in a bad moment, perhaps try and rationalize it rather than get that sense of overwhelm, which is very easy to do. You know, and I did recover from that. So, you know, during that period, I got a promotion at work. You know, I got promoted to be the head of finance. We had another child during that period. We moved home. You know, everything was on the up again, and everything was, you know, feeling great, looking great. You know, as I said, started the exercise journey, which was really good. But yeah, I think lockdown then again started to bring back some of those feelings that I'd had, you know, previously, and certainly on my mental health and depression, you know, really sort of took a dip during that period of time.
I think if we step back to that first lockdown, and I remember us having a conversation. When did lockdown start? March, probably May time, late April, May. And you'd had a tough 6 weeks trying to adjust, get used to things. Exercise had really taken a plummet, and you weren't feeling great. And something that I totally agree with and hear a lot around mental health, especially, and, you know, we're not going to go into it now, but I've had more kind of around anxiety and panic and things myself in the past. And one of the things that really stands out is that, and again, we'll talk about this for what happened at the back end of last year as well, because it's really pertinent. But you took action. You started. You made a little commitment, and it was just a little. You know, some people it was a big commitment. Some people it was a little commitment. For you, it was just a commitment to up your steps. And up your level of exercise. We had a little competition within the studio, and you said, right, I'm going to do an average of 10,000 steps a day.
And May then became a really good time. Because we had the awesome foursome competition. Was in a really sort of competitive group with yourself and a couple of other HITZoners who were, you know, really up for a challenge. And
I thought I was competitive.
I know. I think you were left
mentioning no names.
no, we won't mention no names, but, you know, I think you were left standing, weren't you, mate? And you know, made some new friendships during that time, which were really positive, and was getting out a lot more. And that I actually saw that as one of the benefits of working from home, because that ability to go out and do, as you say, 10,000 steps a day wasn't really there when I was commuting every day, or you know, and I could use that time where I would have been commuting to work to go out and do the walk, get the steps in.
And we talked about that recently when we went out for a walk, about that time, as you said earlier, that time between leaving the house and getting to work was like the decompress from family life, get in work mode, have that kind of time. To me, that's almost a meditation. Okay, you're driving, so you're not sitting there with your eyes closed and everything else, but you're driving. And then on the way back, it was right out of work mode, get ready to see the kids, get ready to see Steph, have that. And you completely lost that, as you say, like your commute was from the top of the stairs to the kitchen, became the commute. And I think for people everywhere, whatever our lives are, whether people are stay-at-home parents, whether they're high-flying executives, whether they're business owners, or whether they are in a 9-to-5 role, whatever it is, that ability to kind of ask ourselves questions about what we want the day to look like, how we want to feel today, have that time to decompress. I think that's where walking, okay, you walked with other people sometimes, but you even got a dog, so you could, you know, now, you know, little Jarv, who's ace, and that became almost your meditation.
We went and bought a puppy in May as well. So
yeah, and that became your meditation. That became your time to decompress, maybe to question your thoughts, to and then fast forward then to and I remember you know, and we've said we'll be very open and honest with this. I remember getting a message from you when I returned from holiday, which was very late September, very early October. I went late September.
Yeah.
Just saying, look, I need to have a chat. And you know, and I'm not going to go into all the details here, but you opened up and you were in as bad a place as kind of anyone I've really spoken to about their mental health. And I do speak to a lot, you know, I get a lot of people, HITZoners, etc. in our community who speak to me and are very open and things. And yeah, where were you at that point? You know, you say whatever you want with this, but where were you at? Where were you at when you hit that point? And we're talking 3 months ago here, 3 to 4 months ago.
Yeah. So end of September, very sort of hit rock bottom, the very lowest I've ever been. And I think it was a multitude of things that led to that. As I say, by that time we'd been working from home for 6 months, you know, so that was the daily grind of that was getting me down. Family life was becoming more difficult. I think I found that, you know, myself and Steph were arguing a lot more, and you know, there was trouble at home because you know the kids were constantly there. We're both trying to work. We've both got our own priorities, which we're not focusing on, and that made life very difficult, and financially struggling as well. You know, so there's a number of debts that I'd built up over, you know, a number of years. Probably step back to when we had our first child, and I wasn't paid a lot of money, to be honest. You know, and children don't come cheap, and you know, and all that was getting me down and getting on top of me. And I can remember very well at the end of September, it was I think I finished work, and it was a Friday evening, and I just stormed out the house. Steph didn't know where I'd gone. And I just got in the car and I drove. And I just kept driving. I really wanted to, at that point, I was at breaking point. I really just wanted to get away from everything. And I didn't have any idea where I was going, what I was going to do. And I can remember I drove. I think I got to Warwick service station. You know, I was just driving and driving.
For those of you who don't know, guys, that's a good, from Telford, from Ben and I actually live really close to each other. That's a good 75-minute drive down motorways. That's not like a local.
Probably the worst thing I could have done, because my frame of mind that night, I probably shouldn't have been in the car driving. You know, I just wanted to get away. And I did get there, and I did turn around and I went back. You know, I sort of thought in my head, you know, oh, you know, the kids are up. The wife said, you know, she was straight. I mean, the amount of text messages I must have had on my phone or missed phone calls to find out where I'd gone, what was up with me. So that was really the beginning of it. And then I can remember speaking to my brother on the Saturday morning, and you know, because he'd heard of what had gone on, and he wanted to speak to me about it. You know, sort of, I opened up to him about all these things that were causing me issues. You know, I said, work, you know, I really hate the job I'm in. Really hate the job I'm in. You know, I'm doing it because it's, you know, it's well paid. It's it's, you know, giving, you know, my family the life I want to live. But, you know, I hate doing that every day. The working from home's getting me down. Me and Steph aren't getting on. We're falling out.
I think you said work was that domino, wasn't it? Work was the thing that was affecting all of those other, your health, your fitness, your mental health,
kids,
your family, everything.
24/7, you know, sort of in your ear, and you know, at those times, you know, there was, I think restrictions have been lifted a bit, but we were still working to some sort of, you know,
no offices were really,
as we have been for all year. So again, that made it difficult. You know, I was going on about the financial problems, and I was like, you know, I feel chained to this job. I don't feel I can give it up, because how am I going to pay for my debts? How am I going to get myself out of that problem? What if we lose the house? You know, and all this is whirring around in my head, and I'm getting a bit overwhelmed. And for the first time, I felt better because I'd spoken to somebody about it, and I actually opened up, and I had a really good evening on that Saturday. And I can remember I got some, you know, pictures of the night before what I'm about to tell you, and you know, I was there with my kids, smiling, happy, you know, feeling good as life again, and then I don't know what happened, but then the Sunday morning, I wanted to end it all. And as I say, that was my lowest moment. So I took 40 cocodamol tablets, and I popped them out of the packet, ready to take them, and I was ready to end my life at that point. Completely overwhelmed with everything. And how I got there, I well, you know, I've just spoken about some of the things, but
it's accumulation of a lot of things, wasn't it? It was like you say, it was accumulation of a lot of things, and
it was terrible that I'd let it get to that point, to be honest, because I had started to be more open about my mental health, and it's something I've done for many years because of where I've been, but I think I'd let these things get on top of me. I hadn't opened up about it. I hadn't really shared it with those closest to me of what the issues were, and I didn't see any way out. You know, and from the outside looking in, nobody would have known. I mean, I think you were surprised yourself. You know,
when you called me, I had
up to you and said to you about it, and you said, "Wow, that's just."
When you first messaged me, genuinely, I thought, before you said I'm in a bad place, I genuinely thought it was something to do with HITZoner membership. Except that was my first, probably selfishly, my first thought. And then when you said I'm not in a great place, I thought, oh, okay, maybe like if you put a bit of weight on, if you. And when you told me that, I would never have guessed.
No,
I would never have guessed at all. Like, not even like a. Oh well, actually, maybe when Ben said that was a signal or a warning. It was like a complete shock.
Yeah.
And you spoke to me, I think, something like the Thursday or the Wednesday after this.
Yeah.
I think, because I got back from holiday that weekend actually, and we arranged. I think we ended up arranging a Zoom call to talk about it, so we could have a face-to-face, actually see each other rather than just a phone call. And what was the first? And I'm always really interested in this because, again, talking is great, and as you said, talking to your brother, talking to me, you messaged me after, said it made you feel a bit better. But where I've seen the positive changes in you and your comeback from this have been in the actions you've actually taken, the stuff you've done. So what was your first thing? Because again, and like, I know what you did. You know, I know the actions you took with regards to everything. What was the very first thing you did when you thought, right, I need to sort this out, because it's a very big problem. It's not just that I'm feeling down. This is a really big problem. What was the first thing you did? Because this will help a lot of people who are possibly in or near to being in that situation.
I think the first thing to do, and the most important thing anyone could do, is be open and talk. And that is the most difficult thing to do. I think, you know, people from the outside looking in would not have known that there was a problem. You know, and they'd have had no need to, you know, believe that I was, you know, so upset and so miserable with my own life. I mean, what did I have to be miserable for? You know, I've got a nice house, I've got 3 kids, I've got a loving wife, I've got a great job that, you know, pays me all this money. You know, what could he possibly have to make him miserable? But it, you know, as I started to talk to people, it was a number of those things that were actually making me unhappy. Work was a key source of that. Because I was doing a job that I was desperately unhappy with, just to pay the bills and just to keep everyone happy at home.
And that's no life. That's no life.
You know, it actually started to dawn upon me as I spoke to people. I had some counselling sessions as well during this period of time, so I had that support. It started to dawn on me, you know, Ben, you're 35, you've got another you know, at least 30 years.
Yeah.
Doing whatever you're doing for the rest of your life before you get anywhere near any sort of sense of retirement. Can you put yourself through that for another 30 years? And I think that was a realization was at that time was, you know what? I need to stop doing this, and I need to start doing things that are going to make me feel happy.
Yeah.
I need to, as selfish as it sounds, need to start focusing on me a bit more rather than making everyone else happy. Because I think I got into this mindset where I didn't want to let anyone, I didn't want to let my family down. I didn't want to let my children down. But you know what I realised? The biggest letdown for them would have been if I'd have gone ahead with my actions. And
I totally agree. Totally agree. And
how they'd have got over that would have, you know, and I wasn't thinking at the time, you know, that wasn't in my thought process at all. But as I started to come to terms with it, I thought, you know what, Ben, it doesn't matter what you do, how much money you're earning, where you are, you're always going to be their dad. And, you know, that's the most important thing to them.
And I think, you know, something really important on that point is that the people who truly love us, the people who truly feel strong feelings for us of friendship and love, the only thing they really want to see is each of us being happy.
Yeah.
That's all we want to see. So, you know, take your children, for example. I can't speak for you, but to you, it's not going to matter what they do for a job. It's not going to matter what university they go to, if they go to university, what qualifications they get. If they are happy, you'll be happy with them. That's it. And something that you did, and we did it together, but you put the work into this, and I think it really helped, because one of the things that struck me with when we had our conversation was that, again, you were doing stuff always for other people. You always, well, even if it wasn't doing stuff, everything you said, every thought you had was always about, I can't do that, or I can't say that, or I can do this, or I can't say that because I'll upset this person, or this person won't be happy with me, or whatever. And all we did was a really simple task of every morning, me sending you a message, right, Ben, what's today's #1 priority? What's the one thing today, if nothing else happens, that you're going to do? And you started to get a little bit of purpose back. Because some days that was book my counselling appointment, go for a walk. Today, Stu, I'm feeling absolutely crap. All today's priority is to make sure that I eat 3 meals.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the taking action, even more than then, once you talked and opened up, which was the main #1 priority, you then started to take these actions. And then that started to snowball, didn't it? Because then you started to question and think, right, yeah, I can talk to Stu about this, I can talk to my brother about this, you were talking to Steph about it, plus probably some other people, and you started to take some really positive action. And the most impressive one for me, and it links into exactly what you said, was what you've done about your job. Because, you know, you're earning a lot of money.
Yeah.
And were so unhappy that you were questioning whether you wanted to be on this planet.
Yeah.
So what did you do? Because this is going to give people a realization that whatever you're doing right now, things will be okay.
Yeah.
If you actively go and do the things that are going to make you happy. And so what did you do?
I've quit my job.
There we go. There we go. And what are you doing? What are you doing right now that is going to make you happy in the future? These 2 things, I'm sure you'll tell people. What are you studying for right now?
So at the minute, I'm doing a level 2 course in gym instructing, and I'm also doing a level 1 course in to be a swim teaching assistant, which, hoping long term, I'm doing that also with Rachel Yarrington, who's another HITZoner member.
Yeah.
So we're hoping long term that might snowball into something where we can do some open water swim coaching, because that's one thing as well during this period of time that I embraced and got involved in. And you know, you've seen me go for these cold water swims where it's been 4 degrees. And
how do they make you feel? Because I talk about cold showers. It's something I do every day. So when you do cold water swimming, you go and it's love to stay after it's minus, it's 0 degrees. The water's 4 degrees. You're in there for what, 15 to 30 minutes, which might be a little bit too long. So anybody that's watching who's never done it, don't go and do that long.
It's definitely too long. I remember seeing a professional there who said you should stay in for 1 minute per degree of temperature. So if you're in for any more than 4 minutes when it's 4 degrees,
just the 26 minutes too long. So, but how does it make you feel? This cold water, forget what physical benefits, mentally. How do you feel when you get out?
Absolutely amazing, because you cannot focus on anything other than the cold and the shock that it puts your body into. And for that moment in time that you are in there doing the cold water swim, your mind is taken off everything, and it's a complete release. And that's why I've enjoyed that, because I know that, if I've got thoughts whirring around in my head, or there are things that I feel are going to get me down, I'd just go and have one of those swims, and it'll instantly clear my head.
And do you think as well, and this is where I think with my cold shower, I had a little break from them, don't know why, and I've been building myself back up. I'm on 40 seconds again this week, so I'm adding 10 seconds on, and the water's like, it's properly cold, like it's fully on cold. And there's part of me as well, and you often go cold water swimming first thing in the morning, so as soon as you're up, you go and do that. And to me, and I don't know if you agree, but there's something there that, like, that's the hardest thing I'm gonna have to do all day. There's nothing going to be more difficult than forcing myself into freezing cold water. And so you've developed now this passion. It matches, you're helping other people with the benefits you've seen from open water swimming, which is always cold, even in the summer, unless you're on holiday. How do you think it can help others? Like, what do you so let's project forward 5 years, and you're a swim instructor, and you take in teenagers, adults, children into cold water. Like, why do you want to do that?
I just think, as we said, the mental health benefits from doing it are amazing. For some people, it's just a walk out into a lot of people go to me, I'd really like to do that, but afraid to take that first step. And I feel like it's the first. It's just stepping outside your comfort zone, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing.
I think trying to encourage people to do that more often, and they will see the benefits. It's really good for regulating your weight as well, and
more activity.
The amount of calories from it. Again, because you are sending your body into a deep shock.
And you swim to keep moving, to keep warm. And I think it's I mean, you took the biggest leap out of your comfort zone by quitting a job. You took a massive step into the unknown.
It's a huge step, and it still gives me anxious nights now, because as you said, it was a well-paid job. I was a higher rate taxpayer, so it'll give you an indication of how much I was earning with it. And at the minute there is no fixed plan. Obviously I've got the gym instructing course I'm doing the swim teacher assistant course, but and I might pick up a job in the meantime to supplement that whilst I'm doing it. But the thing I realised over the last 3 months is that I can't put a price on my own happiness.
No.
Really cannot. And I don't think anyone can. And I would say to anyone out there, honestly, follow your dreams, and do what makes you happy. Really, follow what makes you happy. Because if you can be happy, if you could, do those things that, put a smile on your face, it will rub off and shine on everyone else. And everyone has been so supportive who I've spoken to about it. Said, oh wow, it's such a brave step to take, but really pleased that you're doing that.
And I think something you've got the balance of very, very well over the last certainly since early October when we spoke, is a lot of people say be kind to yourself. A lot of people say be kind to yourself. You know, and I think sometimes that gives us leeway. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, kind. And a lot of the time that gives us the leeway. And in these modern times when everyone's very careful about upsetting people and things like that, it gives us the leeway to sometimes be too kind to ourselves. And what I mean by that is end up not doing the work that's required in order to feel better, lose weight, etc., etc. And actually, what I believe you've done very, very well in the last 4 months is that self-care you've given yourself has actually involved making yourself uncomfortable, taking actions that are difficult, you know, having difficult conversations with the people that you love. You know, you didn't just go, I'm going to quit my job like that. You set yourself these little tasks each day, right? I'm going to speak to a solicitor, or I'm going to, and I think
3 months before I came to that decision of that's what I need to do.
And I think that's where a really big lesson for everybody is kindness to yourself can sometimes be putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and testing yourself and that kind of thing. And I'm just putting some of the comments that have come up. You're getting a lot of love, Ben. You're getting a lot of love. People are, I told you guys you'd be inspired. And I'm not saying like quit your job today and go and jump in a -4 degrees pool or anything, guys. But I think we can finish it on the fact of the comment you made. You got to do what you can to be happy. You know, nothing's as important as there's no price. You can't put a price on your happiness. That was
can't put a price on your happiness. And I say the other take home for me would be, for anyone who struggles with their mental health, please do not suffer alone. I mean, this last year more than ever, you see it in the news daily about the nurses on the COVID wards who are struggling with their mental health, and you know, people at home who I know were in exactly the same situation I was, who were trying to you know, teach their kids from home whilst trying to keep up a job. It is all very difficult, and none of us have been thrown into a situation like this before, and
hopefully never again either.
no, you know, whilst I hit my lowest point during that period, hopefully there's going to be a really positive story to tell on the back of it, because actually had this never have happened, I probably might not be having this conversation with you now about, you know, all these exciting things I'm looking forward to in the future.
No, you could be,
you know, like I could have still
same job
I hated, and you know, carrying on as I was.
Yeah, and I'll actually leave it on the point. And again, a guy that we both respect, and I know you're jumping on his workshop tomorrow night. Paul said to us who he coached very early on in COVID that COVID's not screwed. I was talking to Nina about this after our chat yesterday. COVID's not screwed anyone. It's just exposed different things with different people, whether it's people's lack of health. You know, people. I'm sure there are people who have suffered from complications of COVID who wish they'd have taken care of their health earlier. There's people who has exposed their saving strategy or their finances. It's people, relationships have been exposed. And all we can do when things like that get exposed is address them and work on them. And your unhappiness in your job was exposed to you by COVID. So people, you know, whilst a lot of people have suffered, and you know, we wouldn't wish COVID ever again. As you said, it could be the best thing that's ever happened to you.
Yeah,
for all we know. For all we know.
Yeah. I would say hopefully I'm now chasing my dreams. You know, and I think I met you just before Christmas, didn't I? And I think I said to you, you know, I've realised these past few months things that make me happy: keeping active, helping others, and if I can do a role, or you know, some sort of career that involves both of those, you know, giving back to others, keeping active, keeping fit, then you know, I'll be happy.
And then the pounds in your bank don't really matter.
No, they don't. You know, and that's it. Money cannot buy you happiness, and that's, you know, one thing I've had to learn over the last few months. You know, and there'll be tough times ahead with those decisions, but you know, I'm ready to hit them, you know, head on.
Yeah, you couldn't be now in a better mental place to tackle those things.
No.
Yeah. Well, I've just got to say, I'm like proud, not only that you're a HITZoner, but proud to be your friend and proud to be witnessing this journey. Personally, it inspires me. I know it inspires a lot of other people. And I think it'd be great maybe in 3 or 4 months to jump back on one of these and see where the journey's taking you.
Yeah, love to.
Yeah. Alison's asked, do they do wetsuits in ladies XXL? Don't do wetsuits. You've got to be brave. Budgie smugglers all the way. That's all you got to wear. Anyway, guys, for those of you tuned in and commenting and things, thank you very much. And Ben, thank you. Thank you very much for just being so open, honest, and sharing your story. It's going to inspire a lot of people. And I'll see you virtually for a beer very soon, hopefully.
Yes.
Take care. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all. Cheers.